So, Namaskar all of you. Odisha Civil Service 2025 Mains ro Home Science Optional ro test number 5 टा जी तार questions मैं discuss करी. तो before that ये जो हमारा test series रोची ता विषय रे किछि कहबी. तो हमारा general studies और compulsory test series से 55 टा test रोची. सबु test हमारा 3 hours रो test रोची. जो थे जीएस पेपर 1, 2, 3, 4 एसे कंपलसरी इंग्लिश आउ कंपलसरी ओडिया हमरा कवर होची. एथरे 55 टा टेस्ट होची. तीनटा बैच एचर अछि. फर्स्ट बैच जुलाई रो स्टार्ट हिची, सेकंड बैच टा अगस्त 1 रो स्टार्ट हिची और लास्ट बैच टा थर्ड बैच टा अगस्त 10 रो स्टार्ट हो. ठीक सेमती ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट्स रे 16 टा टेस्ट रोची. एगुडा भी सब 3 घंटा रो टेस्ट. तादरे 10 टा आपनकर सेक्शनल टेस्ट रोची आउ 6 टा फुल सिलेबस टेस्ट रोची. 13 टा ऑप्शनल हम प्रोवाइड करछु. सोशियोलॉजी, पॉलिटिकल साइंस, ज्योग्राफी, एग्रीकल्चर, फॉरेस्ट्री, पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, हिस्ट्री, होम साइंस, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी, फिलोसॉफी, साइकोलॉजी, एजुकेशन और लॉ. सो आर अभी 3टा बैच 1 जुलाई रे स्टार्ट हेतिला, बैच 2 अगस्त 1 रे स्टार्ट हेची और लास्ट बैच टा बैच 3 अगस्त 10 से स्टार्ट हो. सो लेट अस गो टू द क्वेश्चंस. होम साइंस टेस्ट नंबर 5 एटा होम साइंस पेपर 1 संगे डील करछि. बेसिस ऑफ ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट ऑफ चिल्ड्रन फ्रॉम 0 to 5 years. सेक्शन 1 क्वेश्चन. हाउ डू जेनेटिक फैक्टर्स interact with environmental conditions to shape an individual's cognitive potential? Discuss this with reference to twin studies in developmental science. Question 2. To what extent does maternal nutrition impact the development of the fetal brain during the prenatal stage? Evaluate this in context of critical periods in growth. Question 3. How does motor skill acquisition during infancy correlate with cognitive development according to Paget's sensory motor stage? Discuss the role of reflexes in this process. Question 4. To what extent do early social interactions influence emotional regulations in toddlers? Analyze this with reference to attachment theory. Question 5. Human development is primarily shaped by the interaction of nature and nurture. Okay. How does this theory explain the role of family and environment in a child's early years? Play is the work of childhood. How does this statement reflect the importance of play in intellectual and emotional development? How does the interaction of genetic predispositions and environmental stimulation shape motor development in infancy? Discuss this in context of cultural variations. Question 8. How does emotional development during early childhood influence the formation of social bonds in later life? Evaluate this with reference to Erickson's stages of psychosocial development. Question 9. How does maternal mental health during pregnancy impact the development of emotional resilience in children? Discuss this with evidence from longitudinal studies. Question 10. To what extent do cultural practices influence the physical and motor development milestone in the first year of life? Evaluate this with examples from different societies. Question 11. How does exposure to tetrogens during the first trimester affect organogenesis in the fetus? Discuss with examples of environmental toxins or maternal behaviors. Question 12. How does play facilitate intellectual development during the pre-operational stage of Paget's cognitive theory? Discuss the role of symbolic representation in early learning. Now come to section B. Emotions are the first language of children. How does this perspective emphasize the role of emotional understanding in early childhood development. Question 14. How do adversarial parental conditions like malnutrition or exposure to infections affect intellectual milestones during the first 5 years? Discuss with examples from global health studies. Question 15. How does language acquisition during early childhood reflect the interplay of genetic predisposition and environmental exposure? Discuss with reference to critical periods. Question 16. How does the placenta function as the mediator of both protection and vulnerability during the prenatal development? Evaluate its role in nutrient transfer and toxin filtration. Question 17. How does nutritional deficiency during the first 5 years impact physical and intellectual development? Discuss this in context of stunting and developmental delays. Question 18. How does parental responsiveness during infancy affect the development of secure attachment and emotional regulation? Discuss this with reference to ball-based attachment theory. तो यहाँ आपनकर 18टा क्वेश्चन 15टा आपन करियार अछि बट 18टा जाको ओके प्रिपेयर कर देटा बेटर तेनु सेक्शनल 10टा टेस्ट देले प्राय एमती किछि क्वेश्चन रहबनी जोडा के एग्जाम रे पड़िबो ओके एग्जाम रे जेमिति क्वेश्चन पडू एनालिटिकल हो डायरेक्ट हो आपण रेडी हेकी थिबे सो आई विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर प्रिपरेशन जो माने होम साइंस ऑप्शनल नहीं की एग्जाम देबे नमस्कार।